look at that. So it's a box within a box. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Let's remove this. So wow, look at that box. Steam controller. It says Steam controller retail bundle contains model number assembled in China. Interesting. Game controller, contents, wireless adapter with a USB cable. Okay. Nice. What's this? Ooh, look at that. Oh, what's on the back? Read the endorsed enclosed health and safety information, cancer and reproductive health. That doesn't sound good. I wonder what's causing it. And so it includes a dongle, this thing, and the controller. Okay. What's on this? Okay, so that's what's on every side. Okay, so let's open. So now let's open it and see what's inside. Whoa. Alright. So we have, here's the Steam controller. Wow, it actually feels lighter than I thought it would be. Buttons are really clicky. Trackpads don't really have a click. They're a little springy, if you can hear. There's like a spring inside. Oh wow, the D-pad is really nice. And the A, B, X, Y buttons are really nice. Wow, would you look at that? Triggers feel a little soft and mushy, but they look nice. And then there's a USB-C right here. There's a USB-C. Triggers feel nice. I think it overall feels better than my Xbox controller, my old one. But it feels nice in the hands. My fingers stretch across and they really feel natural sitting here, I think. We'll see how it works in like a longer game. Okay, let's put this aside. Next is the puck. We have the puck right here. Feels nice. Alright, let's see how. Wow, look at that. Oh, whoa, what's this? Stuck on. Let's try that again. Wow, that's really magnetic. Look at that. That feels nice. Alright, let's see. Let's see what's underneath, if there's anything. Ooh, what's this? Is there anything inside? Oh no, look. I guess not. Okay, let's put this back. Oh, that's why it wasn't going back in. Wow, that was actually a struggle getting it back in, surprisingly. Oh, okay. So that's where it was hiding. There's the cable right here for the puck. And then the safety manual. Let's remove this. I don't need the manual. Alright, that looks like everything for the Steam controller. So we're gonna remove this one, which is a USB type B from my old Xbox 360 controller, or Xbox One controller. So this is USB-C. For the Steam controller. The USB type B or USB type A on the other side. It's not USB-C to USB-C. Something's happening. Okay, approve. Okay, we're connected. Okay, so there have been many tests of the Steam controller from the Windows side of things, but I have not seen any done from the Linux side of things. And so I want to take a slightly different approach. I'm confident that the Steam controller will work on Steam, but I also want to test it outside of Steam. On Windows, it is known that the Steam controller only acts as a mouse and keyboard input device in lizard mode. But since the Steam controller is designed for SteamOS and is basically the Steam Deck without a screen, I'm curious if it will work as a regular Steam controller with Steam not open, and if Linux can recognize it. Alright, so let's start with quitting out of Steam, so that we can maintain the integrity of the experiment. And here is the settings page on archlinux, running KDE Plasma on Wayland, with the latest version of 6.6.5. And right here, we can see a controller detector that is built into the system. Let's turn on our Steam controller. Okay, so our Steam controller is on, and I'm seeing it's already detecting some sort of numbers right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever those are. Okay, so the thumbsticks will work. All right, so all the A, B, Y, X buttons work. The back paddles are 5 and 6. The trigger buttons, the shoulder buttons are detected. D-pad is detected. The paddle buttons on the back are also detected. Touchpads aren't being detected, at least with Steam off. Now that we've determined that most of the settings, most of the buttons work outside of Steam, let's try playing a game that is also outside of Steam, running on like Lutris or Port Proton. So right here, I have a game on my hard drive that I want to try and see if it'll work. So let's try it. Okay, so the game loaded. Let's try now all the menus, buttons. So every D-pad works in the menu. Thumbstick, left thumbstick works. All the buttons seem to work. Alright, so we're in game now. So all of the buttons seem to work quite well. The right trigger works. Alright, so everything seems to work. We can call it here. Now I have a second game here to try, because maybe it works only on certain games and on certain platforms. So the next game that I'm going to try right here is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So let's launch that. And just to prove that we're still running the Steam controller and haven't switched it, here's the Steam controller on the controller page. Alright, so we're back in game. Right stick works to turn. B works to jump. Left stick works to walk around. Left and right trigger works. So that's the... Alright, so the D-pad also works. Slashing people works. Alright, so that's that. So everything seems to have worked really well. Now that we've tested 2 non-Steam games, controller worked in both. Let's try a game in Steam as well and see if there's any difference. Alright, so let's try gaming on Steam now. Right here I have a game called Sleeping Dogs. I haven't played it in a while, as you can see, April 9th. So let's give it a try. Alright, so we are back in game. We are clearly on Steam, and let's see if the controller works. First thing I want to check is if the trackpads work, because they did not work when we tried with the non-Steam game. Alright, so in order for trackpads to work, we have to enable this input, which is really annoying. Well, clearly touchpads only don't work in game for this game. Let's see if... Well, the mouse cursor is not moving, but let's see if it actually works in game. But now I can actually feel some sort of haptic feedback on the right touchpad. Oh wow, yeah, actually the touchpad does work. I'm turning the screen right now with the touchpad. So you can walk and look around with the touchpad. And so we have left and right thumbstick working.
We have the D-pad working. So left and right triggers also seem to be working. Even though it feels a little bit off in terms of the sensitivity. The sensitivity feels way off. I wonder if that's a Steam setting I can change. The rumble works as well. Alright, overall it seems to work quite decently. Probably need to adjust sensitivity for this game, but I think that's a game issue. Let's see if it works on the desktop. Yeah, the mouse input also works on the desktop, just as it does for Windows. And scrolling also works, but you have to scroll in like a circular motion, similar to how it works on the old iPod. Alright, so I would say overall the Steam controller works on Linux as both an Xbox controller outside of Steam and as a Steam controller with all of its functions on Steam. But the only annoying part is you have to click that remote desktop thing every time, otherwise it doesn't work. And there should be a function to adjust the sensitivity of the controller.